This is the Titration Lab in case you were absent or if you just want to understand this lab a little bit better. I have got a 10 milliliter solution of a mystery, we don't know the concentration of this acid, all right, but you have the name of the acid on your lab report. All right, so I'm gonna get that into my reaction flask. All right, and a source of error that I've identified is that I might have some of my acid left in this graduated cylinder, and adding water won't change how many moles of acid are in here. So it's actually okay to rinse this because I'm still gonna do my math based on 10 milliliters. So it doesn't matter if I add a little water. That way I make sure all the acid gets rinsed out into there. All right, then I'm gonna add my indicator. I need this indicator to be able to see when we get to the equivalence point. And this is phenolphthalein. You guys have used this one before. It does nothing in acid, right? See, it just looks exactly the same, clear. But it turns a bright, hot pink when we get to a basic pH. So as soon as we get to neutral, it's going to turn that hot pink. We're gonna try to get it to right where it barely turns pink. So we're looking for that super pale pink. All right, I've got my 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide. I've also got my safety glasses on, by the way. Acids and bases and I's do not go together. Now, if you were doing this in a group, we would have one person doing the dropping, one person doing a constant swirl, and one person keeping tallies, but I'm gonna do all the things at the same time. So I'm the director and the producer and the actor in this video. All right, so this dropper is a graduated dropper. If we were doing a technical titration, we would be using a fancy piece of equipment called a burette, but this is our kind of low-tech, easy version of this procedure or this technique. And so there's a 1 milliliter and a 0.5 milliliter marking. So I'm gonna add this 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide 1/2 milliliter at a time. You see that pink color? All right, I'm gonna give it a stir, but oh, it disappears, right? And then I'm gonna add the rest. All right, but it disappears. And I'm doing this first run to just get an idea, like I don't even know like about where the endpoint will be, right? So I'm trying to get like a ballpark. So there's 1/2 milliliter and another 1/2 milliliter. All right, so let me keep my tally marks here. So that's 2 milliliters so far. All right, and I wanna be careful about air bubbles too. I don't wanna be thinking I'm adding base, but I'm actually adding air bubbles. All right, 1/2 milliliter. Ooh, hot pink color. Let's see if it's, nope, disappears. All right, the other 1/2 milliliter. Nope, it disappears. All right, let's go again. Get to that 1 milliliter mark, whoops. All right, and we're gonna add 1/2 milliliter. See if that hot pink color sticks around. Nope, let's add the other 1/2. Oh, I thought that was it. All right, so we're at 4 milliliters. All right, I'm pretty sure that the next one is gonna turn it hot pink. So we'll add 1/2 milliliter, and I think that's gonna be like way too much and it's gonna stay. Yeah, there's our deep, that is a way past the endpoint hot pink color. I'm gonna use this white background here. All right, so that was 4.5 milliliters. All right, so I'm gonna do this again. All right, so I've got a little waste beaker here. All right, I'm gonna do this again. And I'm gonna rinse this out, but it actually shouldn't really matter very much because what's in here is neutral. But just to make me feel better, because it's a little bit basic, I'm gonna give that a good rinse. All right, so I have another 10 milliliters. In the lab, we used pipettes for this, but a graduated cylinder is a great accurate volume instrument as well. All right, so here's my 10 milliliters of acid. I'm gonna rinse this with water, and that is okay because I'm still gonna do my math with 10 milliliters, right? I'm not changing the amount I'm gonna math with. And I wanna make sure every little bit of acid gets in there. I don't want that to be a source of error. All right, so let's try this again. I'm gonna put my indicator in here, and now I know that my color change, oops, that was a lot of indicator. My color change is gonna happen around 4.5 milliliters. All right, so I'm gonna go fast through the first 3. All right, let me get right on that 1 milliliter mark. Okay, so there's 1. too fast, but I'm going like really slowly getting to that 1 milliliter mark because it's kind of hard to see. All right, 3. All right, see that hot pink color? But this is good. All right, so now I'm gonna go really slowly. I'm gonna add the half. I'm actually gonna go to 3.5 because I'm pretty sure that's gonna be okay. So 3.5. All right, now I'm gonna switch to going drop by drop. So I'm gonna add 1 drop at a time. So I'm gonna write down so I don't have to remember that I have already added 3.5. And we have an estimate that 25 drops equals about a milliliter. All right, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, I should be swirling the whole time. And here I'm gonna put this on this white background so we can see the color really well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see that color is lasting longer and longer. 10. Ooh. All right. 11. That is that is an endpoint. All right, 11. And although, okay, so let me write this down. And 11 drops. That looks pretty dark pink, like we want as pale as possible. But here's what going past the endpoint really looks like. So see, this is a pretty good titration because although it's pretty pink, it's not like totally past the endpoint hot pink, right? So it's pretty good. And as it sits here actually and has a little moment to react, it'll even get a little bit paler. All right, so our estimate is we say that each drop is 0.04 milliliters, so 11 times 0.04 is 0.44. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So I've got 3.5 plus 0.44, I've got 3.94. All right, so my volume of sodium hydroxide, so we're gonna use our MV equals MV formula, right? So M acid, M base equals M, oops, wow. Let's try that again. M acid times volume acid equals M base times volume base. All right, so here's my formula, not great whiteboard, but molarity times volume equals molarity times volume. All right, and these are all acid that only has 1 hydrogen and a base that only has 1 hydrogen. I'm an hydroxide, so if I had more than one, I'd need to remember to do that multiplier. But for this titration, we're keeping it simple. So the molarity of the acid is what I do not know, but the volume was 3.94, and the molarity of the base is 0.10, and the volume of the base, and I just completely messed that up. So let's redo that. The molarity of the acid is I don't know what. But the volume was 10.0 milliliters, right? I measured the acid in my graduated cylinder. It was exactly 10 milliliters. All right, the molarity of the base was 0.01 molarity. This is the base, right, 0.10. And then the volume of the base, it took 3.94 milliliters to get that neutral, right? So here is my setup, right? So X times 10 equals 0.1 times 3.94. I'm gonna do a little algebra magic here, and I'm gonna do 0.1 times 3.94. I should be able to do that in my head, but I'm going to use the calculator to make sure I don't make any mental math mistakes. And then divided by 10, I got 0.039. All right, 0.039 molarity. Now, when I made this mystery acid, it wasn't actually a mystery because I made it up. And the actual molarity, believe it or not, the actual molarity was 0.040 molarity actual. All right, and so you're going to use this to do a little percent error calculation on your lab report. So our experimental value is 0.039, and the actual molarity is 0.040. All right, you can see these really nice colors. It actually has turned out to be a pretty good endpoint compared to what overshooting the endpoint looks like. So pretty good overall. All right, so you should be able to complete the rest of the lab report with that data. All right, good job.